Hi students, how are you? I hope that you all are fine there. So today lecture I am going to discuss handout number 4, the CA Sri Lanka Code of Ethics. So at the same time I hope that you all watch my video. So I'm going to share my PowerPoint. So this is a chapter 4. In this handout we are going to discuss about CA Sri Lanka Code of Ethics. As I mentioned you in the handout number 2, the conduct of audit. So in the handout number 2, when I discuss about the conduct of audit, what I said you all. So the generally the audit is directed or supervised by three set of rules. The first one, the company law, company act. So we discuss the company law, company act. The last handout, the handout number 3. The second one, the code of ethics or code of conduct. So that's one today I'm going to explain what's the meaning of code of ethics. So what are the arrangements are there under the code of ethics. So why the code of ethics is very important in the business world. Why we should study about ethics or code of ethics or code of conduct. So the third one, the third set of role is auditing standards. So I hope the auditing standards are touched by the profession the later. So here in the chapter 4, the CS Sri Lanka Code of Ethics. So this is a learning outcome. So in this handout has this handout has 3 learning outcomes or 3 learning objectives. The first one, list out the CS Sri Lanka Code of Ethics. The second one, understand the fundamental principles of professional ethics. Third one, understand the threats to the fundamental principles. So together 3 learning outcomes are there. We will discuss one by one. So the before we turn into session, the first we should understand what is the meaning of code of ethics. So I hope you remember when we discuss handout number 2, the conduct of audit. So in the particular handout we discuss the thing is there because the particular organization we discuss, no, particular organizations we discuss. The for the one of the organization is IFAC, the National Federation of Accountants. So when I talk about that IFAC, I discuss a lot of information about IFAC. So the one information you should remember that IFAC is the superior body in our accountancy profession. So under the IFAC, another organization we discuss that is also important one, IAASB, International Auditing and Assurance Standard Board. So what is the duty of this IAASB? So IASB publish the auditing standards under the direct supervision of IFAC. I hope you have clear idea about that one. No, we already discussed in the handout number 2. IFAC is a superior body in the accountancy profession. Under the IFAC, the subsidiary of IFAC is the IAASB, International Auditing and Assurance Standard Board. What the IASB do? IASB publish the auditing standard under the supervision of IFAC. So another information I explain. So the about this code of ethics. No? The code of ethics actually published by IFAC. Code of ethics or code of conduct is published by IFAC. So here the IFAC, the code of ethics, when we talk about a code of ethics, so when we say the code of ethics, this is a written set of guidelines, written document, written document, set of guidelines issued by an organization. Or every professional body, they normally issue this written document, that is the code of ethics, to its workers and management. For what purpose? To help them conduct their actions in accordance with its primary values and ethical standards. Here, one thing you should clearly understand. Actually, the originally, basically the code of ethics or code of conduct is published by the IFAC, International Federation of Accountants. So then these other professional bodies, for example, in Sri Lanka, the CS Sri Lanka, ICAS, Chartered Institute of Chartered Accountants Sri Lanka, they normally adopt the particular code of ethics and they make some modification. Or otherwise, another way you can say, in Sri Lanka, CS Sri Lanka is prepare the code of ethics based on the IFAC code of ethics. So the two ways you can say. So the thing is that when we say the code of ethics, so that is a written document. So the originally published by the IFAC. Then other provincial bodies, the different countries, they normally prepare their own code of ethics based on the IFAC. So in Sri Lanka, we know, no, you know, the different professional bodies are functioning. So basically the AAT, the CA Chartered, CA Sri Lanka, CMA, CMA, CPA, CFA, IBSL. So number of professional bodies are functioning in Sri Lanka. So all professional bodies, they have own set of code of ethics, own document they have. Every professional body, they have separate document, separate code of ethics. Basically, the interpretation about basically the principles are same, but the way of interpretation may be different because all professional bodies prepare their code of ethics based on the IFAC code of ethics. Okay, no, right. Here, under the introduction, you can see the first point says the code of ethics for professional accountants issued by the IGASL or CS Sri Lanka Court. The first thing you should know, so in Sri Lanka, the different code of ethics are there, different code of ethics documents are there because different professional bodies publish different set of documents. But in Sri Lanka, is the, this is a formal superior body in Sri Lanka. No, the Sri Lanka is a CS Sri Lanka is the formal organization to supervise this accountancy profession in Sri Lanka. So that's what we should study about the CS Sri Lanka Code of Ethics. So the Code of Ethics for professional accountants issued by the CS Sri Lanka. Yes, but see the CS Sri Lanka basically based on the IFAC Code of Ethics. Second point says set out 5 fundamental principles. Please remember, no? Exam point of view, you have to remember the altogether 5 fundamental principles are there and provides a conceptual framework for applying those principles. Third point says members mean all the members of the professional bodies. So if you complete a CA, so you are one of the members of CA Sri Lanka. So suppose if you complete a SEMA, you can say you are one of the members of SEMA or CMA member or the CPA member or CFA member. So the older members of all the professional bodies must apply these fundamental principles. They must apply these fundamental principles. They must obey these fundamental principles. And the next point says the CS Sri Lanka Code is based on the Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants published by the International Federation of Accountants. So that's I already explained. No, the CS Sri Lanka prepared the Code of Ethics based on the IFAC Code of Ethics. So the next point says This is mandatory. This is a compulsory for all members, all the members of CS Sri Lanka. All the accountant, chartered accountant, they must adopt, must obey, must respect to those fundamental principles. Five fundamental principles are there. So here you can see the fundamental principles of professional ethics. Yes, the one by one we can see here. All the five principles are listed here. The first one, integrity. The first fundamental principle is integrity. Second one is objectivity. Third one is professional competence and due care. The fourth one is confidentiality. The last one, fifth one is professional behavior. So altogether, five fundamental principles are given by CS Sri Lanka Code of Ethics. What are those principles? The integrity, objectivity, the professional competence and due care, the confidentiality, and the professional behavior. Please keep in your mind the altogether five fundamental principles are there. So here we will come back to this slide later. So here you can see the brief explanation of each fundamental principles. The first one is integrity. What does it mean? What's the meaning of integrity? What does the integrity mean? So members, the integrity says the members should be straightforward and honest in all professional and business relationships. Yeah, when we say the integrity says the members should be straightforward. They have to be very straightforward and honest. The straightforward, and I have highlighted in red color the key terms. So when we say the integrity is one of the fundamental principles of CS Sri Lanka Code of Ethics. It says that all the members, all the CA members should be straightforward and honest. They have to be very genuine, honest in all the professional and business relationships. So that is indicated by the term or principle integrity. So then we can see the objectivity. This is the kind of principle of CS Sri Lanka Code of Ethics. The objectivity says the members, the CA members, CS Sri Lanka members should not allow bias. They should not allow bias. They never allow bias or conflict of interest. They never have the conflict of interest or undue influence of others. So never, no one, never anybody interfere in their process to override professional or business judgments. So this is a meaning of objectivity. What's the meaning of objectivity? Says members should not allow bias, conflict of interest, the undue influence of others to override professional business judgment. So third one says the professional competence and due care. The members, the particular code of ethics says, CS Sri Lanka Code of Ethics says all the members should be professionally competent and due care. What does it mean? The professionally competence. So here you can say the members have a continuing duty to maintain the professional knowledge and skill at a level. That is very important. So because even suppose yes, we should accept no because you completed CS Sri Lanka, yes, but time to time you should update your knowledge and skill. You're the chart accountant, we agree, but time to time the members or chart accountant should update their knowledge and skill at a level because why required to ensure that a client or employer receive competent professional service based on current developments in practice, legislation and techniques. So the problem is you can have a simple example. I will explain this concept simply with the example. So you can assume the person A is a chart accountant. Yes. So that's automatically the person is a CA member. Person completed CA in 2000, no, 2020. So in 2000, the person A completed chartered accountants. So the person is now the person is now functioning as auditor. The person completed CA in 2000, before 20 years. So the particular fundamental principle of Code of Ethics says that the members should be professionally competent and due care. So person should update his or her knowledge and skill, because 20 years, before 20 years, the person completed CS Sri Lanka. A lot of things, a lot of changes happen, now the business world is very competitive, because of all are the very high technical world. So because the very difficult to uh, function in the world, because we have to be very updated. We have to update time to time. We have to um, update our knowledge and skill as a professional person. No, then only we can provide a good service for our client. Okay, the members have a continuing duty to maintain professional knowledge and skill, because nowadays very digital world. So the auditors members also should be very familiar to handle these technical devices. No, they have to have clear idea about these technical terms or technical um, investments. Because nowadays, because cryptocurrency. So there's a new terms, cryptocurrency, forensic accounting. So the audit as a member, the professional member, the person should be able to handle all these kind of technical terms. So that's what the particular principle says. The member should be very updated person. They have to update their knowledge and skill time to time. So the other one is there, the due care. Due care means members should act diligently. It means show care in one's work or duties, and in accordance with applicable technical and professional standards when providing professional services. Because as a member, they have to very um, care about their client, the client company. So they have to due care, take some care about a client business. Just remember, this is also another principle, no? There's a due care, professional competence and due care. If the person is very competent, then person automatically to take care about his or her client business. So next one is there is a confidentiality. This is another important one. So confidentiality says, the simply you can say is the particular member keep the information very confidential manner. Client information, don't communicate the client information to other parties or third parties or outside people. Okay, the member should respect the confidentiality of information acquired as a result of professional and business relationship. The first one, please remember, the members, the auditors, they should respect the confidentiality. They have to keep the information very secret manner. Confidentiality of information acquired as a result of professional and business relationship should not disclose. This is very important. Should not disclose any information to third parties or other competitors or outside people, even the uh, his or her life partner, because that is one of the fundamental principles. Say the confidentiality, they have to deal the information very confidentially. Should not disclose any such information to third parties without proper and specific authority, or unless there is a legal or provisional right or duty to disclose. Sometimes some situations are there. You have to be very careful. Sometimes examiner may ask questions. As per the principle confidentiality, the members always can't disclose the information. Is it true or false? The false, not always. Some exceptional cases are there here. Should not disclose. Yes, generally they can't communicate information to the third parties, but without Some situations are there, exceptional cases are there, proper and specific authority, unless there is a legal or professional right or duty to disclose, at the time the auditor member they can disclose because there's a legal or professional right or duty to disclose information. So other one is there, confidential information acquired as a result of professional and business relationship should not be used for the personal advantage of members of third parties. This is another one. If you assume you are the auditor, during the audit time, definitely you can get to know all the information of the client company. So don't try to use those information for your own benefit, for your personal benefit. So don't try to spread those information to the third parties in order to get some benefits. So these are the informations are emphasized by the principle confidentiality. So the last one is their professional behavior. The professional behavior is one of the fundamental principles of CS Lanka Code of Ethics. What's the meaning of professional behavior? It says the members should comply with the relevant laws and regulations. So members, all the ZA members should comply, should adopt with the relevant laws and regulations and should avoid any action that discredit or damage the provision. So the members should be behave professionally. So it means they have to properly adopt or comply all the um, required laws and regulations. At the same time, they should not involve any kind of illegal activities, any money laundering or any kind of fraud or those kind of bad things they never involve because those kind of activities definitely discredit their profession. So that is emphasized by the particular principle, the professional behavior. So altogether, 5 fundamental principles are there. The first one is integrity. It says all the members should be straightforward and honest. Second principle is objectivity. Says the members should not allow bias or conflict of interest or undue influence of others. Third principle says professional competence and due care. The members should update their knowledge and skill. Second one, they have to take some care about the client business. The fourth principle is confidentiality. It says members should not communicate or spread the client information to the third parties. But in even some exceptional cases are there, at the time they can disclose those information to the third parties. We will discuss clearly in the coming slides about this confidentiality. So the last principle says the professional behavior. It says the member should comply, should adopt all the relevant laws and regulations, as well as they never involve any kind of bad activities. It definitely discredit their profession. Okay, no? Yes. Then we are going to discuss about some examples of the fundamental principles in action might be. This 2-3 slides we are going to discuss some example of these fundamental principles in action might be. So some examples. The member behave such a way. So what happened to the particular fundamental principle? The first one is integrity. You know the integrity means the members should be straightforward and honest. Keep in your mind, right? The situation says action. You find out that one of your listed audit client, yeah, you can assume you are the auditor of the particular company. On that basis, you can approach these actions, example. Then you can easily understand. No? You should assume, you demand you are the auditor of the particular company, public company. Then you can read the action. You find out that one of your listed audit clients is shortly to be taken over, or otherwise, or has access to technological advances. So you can assume you are the auditor of the particular public company. So what is going to happen? the particular client company is going to be taken over by another company very soon, or otherwise the particular company has access to technological advances because the company is have the good technological advances. So these two situations will give it a fantastic competitive advantage. I hope you heard about the term competitive advantage. What does it mean, competitive advantage? You know, the here meaning is there. The competitive advantage is a condition or the circumstance that puts a company in a favorable or superior business position. You know that in the soap industry, which company have the competitive advantage? Normally the Unilever, no? Yes. Telecommunication industry, you can say the dialogue. So the competitive advantage is a particular position or condition or situation or circumstance that put a company or firm in a favorable or superior business position. So here, what is what is going to happen? So one of your audit client is going to be taken over very soon, or that particular client company has access to technological advances. So this both situation or the has the advantage will give a fantastic competitive advantage. So two situations are there. One of your client or the client is going to be taken over by another company very soon. One situation. Other situation, otherwise the client company, you should assume, no, has access to technological advances, so that situation give it a fantastic competitive advantage. The company will go to top in the market. So at the time, what happens? Company share price may be increased, no, go to top. So you are the auditor, you know all the situation well. So other people don't know what is going to happen because you are the auditor. So you clearly know all the information. These informations only known by you because you are the auditor. So what you do, you might be tempted to buy some shares. This is a problem. Okay, I highlighted in red color. So as auditor, what you are going to do, you might be tempted to right to buy some shares. Is it correct or not? No, it's not correct. If you're the auditor, so you can't have interest on the company. No, if you purchase the particular audit client company shares, definitely the particular situation will happen. What situation? Conflict of interest. If you invest your money, so then you can't be true and fair. So otherwise, encourage your friends to do so. Don't do that one. So please keep in your mind. This is clearly said in the Code of Ethics document. The principle says integrity. The members, the auditor, should be straightforward and honest. So if the auditor or member behave such a way, definitely this particular principle will be violated. This will be it will override by the particular member. So then it automatically create threats. We'll discuss later. So this kind of situation, so because your audit client company is going to be taken over by another company, so now the share price is very low. So then you try to buy the shares, or you um, motivate or induce your friends to buy the shares, the low price. Then later you can sell the shares for a high price. Otherwise, a particular client company has access to technological advances, then you feel that it will give a fantastic competitive advantage. So then later the particular company share price may be increased. Price may increase, so then you can get the benefit or you can enjoy the profit. So that's the time you try to attempt to buy some shares. So otherwise you encourage your friends to buy the shares. Don't do both. You can't purchase a shares, or you can't encourage or motivate or induce your friends to buy the shares as auditor. So that is clearly said by the principle integrity. The second one says objectivity. What's the meaning of objectivity? So the members should not allow bias or conflict of interest or undue influence of others. So the example is there. The owners of a private company, two companies are there, public company and private company, we already discussed. Yes, the both public and private company must do the audit, no? External audit as per the Company Act. I hope you remember that point. So the owners of a private company have the opportunity to sell their shareholding to a large listed company. Yes, the situation is there. Particular private company has the opportunity to sell their shares to the listed company. Yes, and have asked for your advice. You are the auditor of the particular private company. So then private company management asked your advice. Advice mean whether it is good or bad to sell their shares to the listed company. Yeah, that's the situation. It looks like an excellent deal. Then as they normally approach yourself because you are the auditor of the particular private company, they try to get advice from you. So when you see the particular situation looks like an excellent deal, it's a good one, but which will almost certainly mean that your firm will lose the audit to a larger competitor. The situation is there. You are the auditor of the particular private company. Suppose the private company sell their all the shares to the listed company. So for the coming years, you can't do the audit for the particular private company. What happened to your income? So your advice might not be impartial. Your advice might not be impartial. You are the professional person. You are the auditor. So the particular principle of objectivity says you can't have conflict of interest. So because you are the yes, you clearly understand because you are the auditor of the particular company. Every year you charge more than 2 lakhs for as audit fee. So suppose if the particular private company sell their all the shares to the listed company, next year you can't have the audit for the particular private company. So it clearly says it clearly you are going to lose 2 lakhs income from the particular private company audit. Even objectivity says you don't have conflict of interest. So your advice might not be impartial. You may be tempted to advise against the deal in order to keep the client. What you try to do in order to save your audit fee, or in order to save your income, in order to save your audit client, in order to do the audit for the next or following years, you may be tempted to advise against the deal. But actually, when you see the deal, that is a very good to the company. Definitely, you should say yes. You can sell your shares. That's a that is a good things for the members. No? So that is clearly stressed so mentioned by emphasized by the principle objectivity. Every member behave such a way. They never think about conflict of interest. Other one is there professional competence and due care. What's the meaning of professional competence and due care? It clearly says the members should update their knowledge and skill. At the same time, they have to take care about their client company. This situation says a client is starting to expand into areas where there are complex tax issues. Your particular one of your client company, they now expanded their business into some different areas. So because you know the group of some companies they have product lines. Product line means some companies they have portfolio. Portfolio mean they produce different types of products. So some companies they have the some we can say the group of companies, no? Yes, because for example in Sri Lanka you can take Cargill's PLC. They have the food city, the milk factory. They have the Cargill's restaurant. They have the Cargill's bank. So they have the different products, no? So then just think about a auditor, Cargill's PLC auditor, I think EY, yes, EY or KPMG. So what about auditor? It's very difficult to do the audit uh, for this kind of the portfolio companies. So the similarly, you are one of your audit client company is starting to expand into areas where there are complex tax issues. Some type of business very difficult to calculate the tax. No, so for example, some type of company they do the e-marketing, telemarketing. So that type of companies that provide some service, consultancy firm. So that kind of area. So that's a very difficult to cut tax issues are there. It means the particular auditor is very feel that very difficult to calculate the tax exactly. So you have no direct experience of this area. So the problem is you are the auditor. Your client company is starting to expand their business into areas where there are a complex tax issue. As an auditor, as a professional person, you should be very competent. You should be able to handle all the issues, no? So you should be very capable or competent person. You have no direct experience of this area, but unfortunately, you have no experience of this area, but you know that a larger firm in the town, the city, does have a number of specialists in this field. But a particular area, the new area, the same company have number of specialists. You know that information. Please clearly understand. No, you are the auditor of the particular company. The client company is going to expand the business into another area. There are so many tax issues are there. You have no direct experience of this area. At the same time, you know that when the company is functioning in the city or town, the particular company have a number of specialists in this area. So then how you can react? You might be tempted to think that you can get yourself up to speed quite quickly. This is not nice. So situation is clearly says you are the no direct experience. Yes, at the same time another company is there. Particular company have a number of specialists in the particular area. So at the time you can't say you may you might be tempted to think that you can get yourself up to speed quite quickly. You can't think so because get yourself up to speed. I can within very 2-3 months I will get familiar for these areas. Then I can do the audit. Don't think so. But at the end of the day, it's better to give a chance to those specialized people in another firm because it clearly says you are the professional. You are not competent. You are not competent because you have no direct experience. So then how can you say that you can get yourself up to speed quite quickly? So this is not good good for the member. That's a particular information is stressed by the particular principle professional competence. You should be very competent. It means you should be able to handle all the areas. If you don't know, then it's okay. You are not competent with a chance to enter the people. So next one is confidentiality. Yes, it clearly says the confidentiality says don't share the information about a client to the third parties. So some situations are there. It's a low record. Then you can communicate the information to third parties. Here the situation is there. You are attempting to share your knowledge of the takeover. Earlier we discussed the takeover situation. The first this one takeover or technical advances mentioned above, or even of the level of director's salary. You know that you are the auditor, so you know the particular company personal salaries. No? Director salaries, executive staff, department heads, or employee salaries with your friends on a night out on the town. This is important with your friends on a night out of the town. So if you during the night party, you can't share those information with your friends. Even you can't share with your information with your wife or husband. So that is information is given by the principle confidentiality says you have to keep those information in a secret manner. Okay, the last one is a professional behavior. This is the last principle. So this is possibly the most difficult principle to illustrate or explain. It is very difficult to illustrate or explain. Clearly, you as a professional would not involve in illegal behavior. This clearly says. As a member, as a professional person, you can't involve any kind of illegal action or illegal behavior. For example, is a money laundering or smuggling. Those kind of activities you can't involve. If you involve this kind of illegal activities or behavior, definitely you may violate the principle of professional behavior. So we discuss. So far we discuss fundamental examples or actions of those five principles. So then we should discuss something advanced about a particular principle, confidentiality. Here, although the auditors have a professional duty of confidentiality, they may be compelled by law, yes, or there may be a professional right or duty to disclose details of clients' affairs to third parties. As I mentioned earlier, so the confidentiality is one of the fundamental principles of the CS Lanka Code of Ethics. Yes, as per the principle, the particular member can't share the client information to the third parties. That is it generally. And some situations are there. There may be compelled by law, or there may be a professional right or duty to disclose those information to the third parties. You should understand, no? Exam point of view, examiner may ask a question, some MCQ questions regarding these matters. The confidentiality requires members to refrain or stop from disclosing information acquired in the course of professional work, except where? What are those situations? No. Actually, the confidentiality says the member should not disclose client information to the third parties. Even some situations are there. The situation says the member can communicate those information or disclose those information to third party. What are those situations? Three different situations are there. The first one, the disclosure is permitted by law and is authorized by the client or the employer. The first situation, please remember the confidentiality, as per the confidentiality principle, this normally the information can be shared with the third parties. If the disclosure is permitted by law and is authorized by the client or employer, the first situation. The second situation is there. The disclosure is required by law. Required by law means under what situation law required to disclose the information about a client to the third parties. The first one, for example, the production of documents or other provision of evidence in the course of legal procedure. During some court cases, though normally law require the auditor disclose the client information to the courts. So at the time, they should a member should disclose those information to the courts. Otherwise, disclosure to the appropriate public authorities of infringement or violation of, of the law that come to the light. Sometimes some The authorities, public authorities, if they file some cases against the particular company, client company auditor, so at the particular time also the law require the company or client company auditor to disclose the law require the auditor to disclose the client information. So at the time also client can disclose information. Third one says there is a professional duty or right to disclose when not prohibited by law. Third example, there is a professional duty or right to disclose. Okay, it may be the professional duty or right to disclose when that is not prohibited or allowed by the law. So what are those situations are there? To comply with the quality review of a member body or another professional body. So time to time the CS Lanka, they do the quality review process. The time sometime that particular body require the auditor to disclose some information, so they can disclose because there's a professional duty or right to disclose. At the time the law also not prohibited to disclose. Second situation, to respond to an inquiry or investigation by a member body or regulatory body. So some situation normally happen. So someone send the partition to the particular professional body about a member, about a auditor. So at the time the member, the particular professional body start the investigation or inquiry. At the time the professional body request the auditor or member to disclose some information about a client. So as a professional duty or right, they can disclose. Another one in the example, to protect the professional interest of a professional accountant in legal proceeding. Due to in some kind of legal court cases or some legal proceeding matters, the auditor or the member can disclose information. The last one, to comply with technical standards and ethics requirements. At the time also, the particular member, they can share the client information with the third party as a professional duty or right, and also that is not prohibited by the law. Okay, no, that's these are the information related to the confidentiality. So here some examples are there. This illustration one, to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5 examples are there. 5 scenarios are there. The small scenarios, the small cases. So some situations are given here. So you can read the instruction. Discuss the scenarios described below and identify which of the fundamental principles has been breached. What does it mean? Breach, broken or violated in each situation or circumstance. 5 circumstances are given. So each circumstance or situation, you should identify which fundamental principles has been breached or broken or violated. What are those 5 fundamental principles? 5 principles are there: objectivity or integrity or professional competence and due care or confidentiality or professional behavior. One by one we can see. The first one, a member was found guilty of misconduct. A member was identified guilty of misconduct because they sign the audit report of a company without conducting any audit work. So actually the key fact is highlighted in the red color. A member was found guilty of misconduct because they signed the audit report of a company without conducting any audit work. The contrary to the fundamental principle of DAS. What is the fundamental principle violated here or breach here? Because of what the things are there? Particular member or the particular auditor was found guilty of misconduct because they signed the audit report. Under what situation the member auditor signed the report, auditor report, once a person finished the audit, audit process, then finally the person prepare the audit report and then sign on the report. But here what happened? They signed the audit report of a company without conducting any audit work. Without conducting, clearly mentioned, no, without conducting any audit work, the particular auditor sign on the report. So which principle is violated or breached here? There is because of 5 principles are there, no? Objectivity, integrity, professional competence and due care, the professional behavior, confidentiality. So one by one you can eliminate the professional. So confidentiality, no. Confidentiality says something about that disclosing client information to the third parties. Here, not related parties. So you can eliminate confidentiality. So another one, professional competence and due care. That is something different. That says the member should update the knowledge. So you can eliminate the professional competence and due care also. Objectivity says, what is objectivity says? The member should not involve any undue influence or the conflict of interest. So there is something different. So the two one there, professional behavior or the integrity. Integrity, what's integrity says? Integrity says the member should be straightforward and honest. Professional behavior, they have to properly adapt all the laws and regulations. So here, sometimes you may confuse about these two one, no? The professional behavior or integrity, which one is the most appropriate one? Here, nothing related to the violation of laws and regulation, because the thing is that here the clearly says the particular member or auditor violate integrity. It means the person is did not honor the person is not honest, not honest here, because the without doing audit, conducting audit, how the person sign on the report, no? So sign on the audit report of a company without conducting any audit work is clearly says the member auditor not honest. So you can say this is a which principle? That's integrity. Second one, a member was found guilty of misconduct because they failed to advise a client to have an audit when an audit was required by law. The contrary to the fundamental principle of which principle is violated here. Particular member was identified guilty of misconduct because they failed to advise a client, failed to advise a company to have an audit, to do audit when an audit was required by law. You can assume you are the auditor, no? Definitely you may do the audit for the number of different companies. So you are the auditor of the particular companies. So you are the failed to advise to a particular client to have an audit. But as per the law, actually that is a particular client company, particular client this organization must do the audit, okay? When an audit was required by law. As per the laws and regulation, a particular client company must do the audit. But here you fail to advise the company to do the audit. So it clearly indicates you are not competent. You are not competent, or you are not competent. You didn't take any care about the business. So here you can say the professional competent and due care, because you are not competent and didn't take any care about the business, because as per the law clearly says the particular business must do the audit. Even you fail to advise the firm to do the audit. Third one says the member was found guilty of misconduct because they failed to reply to correspondence sent by a third party and CSA Lanka. Contrary to the fundamental principle of what? Okay, member was found guilty of misconduct because they failed to reply to correspondence sent by a third party. The CS Sri Lanka. The Sri Lanka member, you are the auditor is a member of CS Sri Lanka. So particular they fail to reply to correspondence sent by the third party as well as CS Sri Lanka as a member body. So in this situation, actually, your behavior is not good, no, the bad behavior. So there is definitely you violated the professional behavior. What's the next one? Number 4, a member was found guilty of misconduct because they lost possession of a client's books and records to a third party, contrary to the fundamental principle of what? It's a simple one, no? Clearly says the lost the possession of a client's books and records to a third party. You are the member, you lost the possession of part of the client's books and records to the third party, communicate information to the third party. Definitely here the member violated the principle of confidentiality. The last one, the fifth one, a member was found guilty of misconduct because they carried out an audit of a company in which they own shares without implementing appropriate safeguards, contrary to the fundamental principle of what? This is something we will discuss later. Okay, the particular member carried out an audit of a company. The person finished the audit of a company in which they own shares. Particular member already invested money in the shares of the particular company. When the person finished the audit of the carried out conducted audit of the particular company. Is it correct? Is it correct? No, this clearly says because you already invested, purchase some shares from the particular company, then you do the audit. So because it clearly says you have a conflict of interest because you invest a particular amount of money on the particular company, just for the particular company, then you do the audit. So how we expect that true and fair? How can you say the independent person, independent examination, everything is questioned, no? It clearly says that the violation of the particular principle is objectivity. Okay, the answers are there. So the next lecture, video lecture, we will discuss about these threats. So when we say the threats, actually, so when the particular members try to adopt or comply with all the fundamental principles, sometimes they may potentially be threatened by a wide range of different circumstances or situations. At the time, different types of threats may happen. We will discuss those threats in the next video lecture. Okay, friends, I hope you understand what are the things we discussed so far today. So today, yes, we discuss. Yeah, okay, the particular slide is there. Yes, actually, I skipped this slide earlier because this is actually I already told you that different professional bodies they have different set of document or code of ethics, but basically all are have the same principle, but way of explanation or interpretation may be different because all professional bodies based on the IFAC code of ethics. So in Sri Lanka, we are discussing about a CS Sri Lanka code of ethics because CS Sri Lanka is the formulation body or superior super body in Sri Lanka. The accountancy profession. So at the same time, the CMA, ACCO, CPU, WTO, IBS, they have their own code of ethics. Here, for example, you can see the CMA, the fundamental principles. Okay? CMA's code of ethics is made up of 5 fundamental principles: integrity, objectivity, professional competence and due care, confidentiality, professional behavior. More the same, no? So everything is there. If you want, you can download SEMA code of ethics. Already I uploaded in the LMS is code of ethics documents. So if you want to get more idea, you can refer those material also. Otherwise, you can search some different ideas with the help of Google. Okay, students, today we discuss just the CS Sri Lanka Code of Ethics. The first we discussed what are the fundamental principles of Code of Ethics. So then we discuss a brief explanation for each and every principle. Some examples also we discuss. Further, we discuss some illustration for these principles. Okay, students. Okay, bye.